What's up, Eagles fans, and welcome into the Film Room presented by Chickies and Pete's. I'm Fran Duffy. Today, we're going to continue our look at the 2020 rookie class for this Philadelphia Eagles football team. And we're going to go here with second-round pick Jalen Hurts. Now, last segment we did Jalen Reagor. We looked at a bunch of plays that I tagged of Jalen as I was studying him last summer and this offseason. Well, with Jalen Hurts, I thought, rather than pull some of those plays that I tagged of him that I liked throughout the course of my film study, why don't we just go back and watch a full game? And if we're going to pick a game off of his schedule this past season as a senior, the game to watch is that game from mid-November last fall against Baylor. Number 10 Oklahoma traveling to number 12 Baylor. They were undefeated. It was the game of the week in college football. ESPN was there. Everybody was in attendance. It was a primetime matchup, a game that I watched. And if you've tuned into the Journey to the Draft podcast driven by AAA, Andy Weidel, he referenced this game, the Eagles VP of player personnel. I know that Lincoln Riley mentioned it in my interview with him as well. So a lot of focus on this game for Jalen Hurts. And here's what I like about it. He didn't have his best game, especially early on. That first half, he made a couple of mistakes. The first three quarters made some mistakes that kind of put Oklahoma into a little bit of a hole, but he was able to bounce back from that performance. And you can get to see the adversity that he was able to fight throughout the course of this football game. Not only that, but he did so without his number one weapon and a top 20 pick in CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb missed this game with an injury. So for Jalen Hurts to do what he did in this game against Baylor, really, really impressive. Look, it's a 94-play game. We're not going to go through all 94 plays, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here and there, but we're going to watch a majority of this game and really kind of break down what Jalen Hurts brings to that Oklahoma offense, or brought to that Oklahoma offense, and what he's going to bring to the Eagles this fall. So thanks for joining me down here in my basement. We're going to sit here and watch some film. So let's get started here. It's 1st and 10, and what you're going to see a lot here on first down from this Oklahoma team is a lot of zone read. And real quickly, I'm not going to spend too much time breaking it down, but really just want to give you an idea of what happens on these plays. Ultimately, this is going to be an option play for Jalen Hurts at quarterback, all right? So he's going to have the ability to either hand this ball off to the running back, all right, or he can keep it himself and run to the outside. Now, what's going to determine whether or not he hands this ball off or not is going to be his read of one defender. On this play, it's a defensive end. Very often, it's a defensive end, but it could be anybody. It could be a defensive tackle. It could be a linebacker, a corner, or even a safety. So at any point on these plays, he's going to read one defender and decide what he's going to do with the football. He can either hand it off, he can take it himself and run it, or sometimes he can throw it. You're going to see often that's where you get into the term RPO, run, pass, option. He's got the ability to throw the ball as well off some of these plays. What's key for Oklahoma, though, you never know if this is going to be a designed handoff, if this is going to be a designed keeper for Jalen Hurts, if it's an RPO, if it's just a zone read. You don't know. For the defense, it could be any of a number of things, but for the offense, it's kept simple. It's really good offensive football for Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley. Now, what's going to happen here on this play is that Jalen Hurts is going to end up just handing this ball off, and it goes for a 3-yard gain. Ho-hum, on first down, they get 3 yards. But what's going to happen here a few plays later is that it's actually 3rd and 8, and it's the first big pass play for Jalen Hurts, the first money down of the football game. And what we're going to see here on this play is a vertical route concept from the Sooners offense, where you're going to get a deep curl route from the number 1 receiver, and then you're going to get a vertical route to the outside from the number 2 receiver in the slot. And this is what's called a switch release. Anytime you've got those 2 receivers on the outside where they kind of switch positions, you see how they kind of crisscross there? That's what's called a switch release. And it allows, against zone coverage, it kind of puts those guys in a bind. And against man coverage, you can create some interference and allow the potential there for a pick to happen down the field. So switch releases are very, very effective for a number of different reasons. On this play, against a man coverage concept, you can see that Jalen Hurts is going to have the ability to make this throw with anticipation. You can see right at the top here, there's the threat of pressure from the Baylor defense. We're going to see that a lot in this game. They're very, very creative, that Baylor defense. They were under Phil Snow, who's now in Carolina with Matt Rule. They come at offenses in a lot of different ways. And here on this play, you can see the threat of pressure off the right side. So Jalen Hurts feels like, I'm going to have to get rid of this ball kind of quickly. Watch what he does here is that the ball is he's just about to cock his arm to throw. The ball's just about to be released. Look at the receivers. the routes haven't quite established themselves yet, right? This is a really impressive anticipation throw from Jalen Hurts. We're going to just kind of play this in slow motion. Ball comes out, and he's able to hit that deep curl route for a first down. So they pick up 17 yards on 3rd and 8. That's a big-time play from Jalen Hurts. We can watch this from the end zone. This is what you really want to be able to see from a quarterback on those money downs, is the poise, the anticipation. Nice pickup there from the running back and pass pro. And they pick up a bunch of yards on 3rd and long. Impressive play there from Jalen Hurts. All right, so fast forward a couple of plays. He had a couple of completions. Let's take a look at the first RPO from this Oklahoma offense here. It's 2nd down. The Oklahoma offense already down in the red zone. It's the opening drive. And you're going to see here that first RPO where he's going to take the snap in the shotgun, and you're going to see that same kind of mesh point here from the Oklahoma offense that I saw on that first play, right? Where he's going to look like he's handing the ball off to the back, but ultimately he's reading a defender. And it's always easy to kind of figure out who is he reading, because you'll see who the offense is blocking. If the offense is blocking a defender, that's not who the quarterback's reading. You want to be able to see who is he looking at. And here, with the defensive lineman being blocked, you can see this second-level defender, he's about to be blocked. With Jalen Hurts, look at his vision, okay? Look at where he's looking at. He's reading this corner. If that corner was pressed up a little bit further pre-snap, I think that Jalen Hurts is probably handing this ball off, and it's going to be a run going the other way. But since that corner is lined up so far away from this receiver, now I think he's going to say, okay, this is a simple yes or no from Jalen Hurts, and whether or not I'm going to throw this football. And he ends up taking a big hit in the process. A cross-dog pressure from Baylor actually gets home, so this ball goes incomplete. But I wanted to just a quick show the hits that he's going to be under, because as I mentioned, this Baylor defense, very, very aggressive. They're going to send that cross-dog pressure. What I mean by cross-dog pressure is that you're going to have one linebacker crossing this way. Here comes the second one. He's going to come in actually unblocked, and he delivers a huge hit here on Hurts as he delivers the football, and it impacts the throw, obviously falls incomplete. Now, we're going to go now to 3rd and 5, very next play. And we're going to see a play concept that they run a bunch in this game, and it's really a fun play. And here's what I mean. This is what's called we saw the run-pass option on the last play. This is a pass-run option. We talked about this last summer of 2019, on the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast. My good friend Travis Manger came onto the show, and we talked not just about RPO, but PRO, where the quarterback has the ability to throw the ball, and if that's not there, now I'm going to take off for a designed run play. And we're going to see that here from Oklahoma. Ultimately, what you've got here is a couple of different things going. You've got these receivers all either leaking up vertically to run down the field or be blockers in the screen game, all right? So those two slot receivers, they're going to be blockers here. And ultimately, you've got a shallow cross from the lone receiver to the bottom of the screen, this X receiver. Now, Jalen Hurts is going to drop back. He's going to take this snap, and he's going to read, do I have the ability to deliver the ball to this receiver? If it's man-to-man coverage, yeah, he's probably going to throw the ball there because this corner is a long way away to try and make a play here on this throw. If it's zone coverage and my receiver's running into a couple of defenders in the middle of the field, well, now I'm just going to keep the ball, and I'm going to actually run what's ultimately a designed quarterback draw up through the teeth of the defense. You're going to see the offensive line, they actually release upfield, where if it was just a normal pass play, that would be a penalty. It would be a legal man downfield. So this is a designed pass run option. And we're just going to take you through it here real quick. Again, he's going to take the snap, he's going to drop back, and he sees what? He sees zone coverage. Watch all these defenders underneath. They've all got eyes on the quarterback. Everybody's looking at Jalen Hurts. So this receiver going off the middle of the field, that's not something that he wants to necessarily throw. So what he's going to do is he's actually going to tuck this ball and try and run. The problem is that the Oklahoma offensive line unable to hold up. And we can see this here from the end zone angle. The defensive tackle, the nose tackle, Bravion Roy, who ended up being a draft pick for Matt Rule and the Carolina Panthers here on day 3 of this draft. He ends up making this play. He beats the center one-on-one, a good player, and Creed Humphrey ends up getting home for a sack of Jalen Hurts. So while I wanted to bring that play up, we're going to see it a lot here on this game, but 3rd and long, they're unable to convert. He takes the sack. They end up kicking a field goal going up 3-0. And that's how the opening drive ends. Now, you go into the next possession here. Baylor scores a touchdown, so now it's a 7-3 ball game in favor of the home team. Oklahoma gets the ball, and they end up going 3 and out. This is for the 3rd down here on this play. And ultimately, I just want you to see, they're going to run a 3-man stunt here with these 3 defensive linemen. And ultimately, this defensive end is going to loop in untouched and be able to get home to Jalen Hurts. And again, I just kind of want to show you the pressure that Hurts was under throughout the course of the game. He ends up taking the hit in the back there, and it's a sack on 3rd down. Now, on the ensuing possession, Oklahoma actually gives up another touchdown. So Baylor, in this highly anticipated matchup, gets up 14-3 early in this ball game. They kick the ball back to Oklahoma. They get the ball deep in their own end. And on second down, we get the first really opportunity to see Jalen Hurts make a play with his legs. And it's going to be that same read option look where ultimately Jalen Hurts is going to take this snap. And look, you can see he's reading this defender shooting through the B gap here, right? He's shooting this. He's going to read this guy coming up the middle. If this guy was playing a little bit further back, he's probably handing this ball off. But since this linebacker is ultra aggressive and getting downhill, he actually keeps this ball and is able to make the play, gets outside the pocket. A receiver misses a crack block there, so that kind of affects his path. But he gets outside, picks up 6 yards, ends up moving the chains. Now, a few plays later, it's second and long, and we see a big mistake here by Jalen Hurts and something that he's going to have to try and recover from later in this game. Again, second and long, Jalen Hurts in the shotgun, and ultimately what's going to happen here is that he's going to get pressured off the edge. And again, this is a very aggressive Baylor defense. You see he's got another one free defender coming here. Hopefully the running back's able to pick him up. But ultimately, he's got number 2, this defender coming off the edge at late as a delayed blitzer. And he's going to have to try and make that man miss. So you can see he's able to do that. He shakes that defender. Looks like he's going to get out the back door and break the pocket. The problem is, as he stumbles out of this arm tackle, he actually puts his hand on the ground to brace himself. But the football is in that hand. So the ground actually knocks the ball out. It's a fumble. And now Jalen Hurts has to try and jump on this football. The defense gets it instead. Baylor gets the ball deep in Oklahoma territory, and they end up scoring a touchdown. So now it's a 21-3 ball game. Let's go to the very next possession, opening play. It's the second quarter. And one thing we're going to see a lot here from this Oklahoma offense is the ability to go split back. So you've got a running back really on either side of Jalen Hurts, who's lined up in the shotgun here. And ultimately, what he's going to try and do is hit this back to the flat on ultimately a bubble screen. You're going to have one blocker out in front. Here's a second blocker out in front. This is going to be just a quick bubble screen on first down. And what I love here from Jalen Hurts is the ball placement on this throw. It seems like it's an easy throw. These are not easy passes because you've got to be able to get this ball out in front of the receiver so that he does not have to break down and change his momentum and ultimately limit his yards after catchability. He puts this ball on the money out in front, and watch how quickly he's now able to convert into a runner after the catch. So that's a 12-yard pickup on 1st and 10, and that's not an easy throw from Jalen Hurts to the flat. So way to come back off that mistake on the last drive. You fumble, give the ball back to the defense. They score a touchdown. Let's get things going. Nice job on first down. Next play, the second play of the drive, and you're going to go with another zone read play here from Jalen Hurts. We're going to just take a look here. It's, again, a split back look. Instead of running these guys out to the flat on little screens, you're going to get a zone read kind of look here from the offense. So you've got the mesh point here from Jalen Hurts in the back. He's going to be reading this side of the field, trying to get a sense of, okay, am I going to hand this ball off, or am I going to keep it and get outside to the perimeter? He decides for the latter. So he's actually going to tuck this football, beat the defensive end around the corner, and get downhill for a 17-yard pickup. Nice play on first down. Now, a couple of plays later, it's 2nd and 8. Let's go to another pass run option here. So let's get a sense of what I mean. Ultimately, he's going to have that ability to keep the ball and go for another quarterback draw if the pass play isn't here. We saw that drag screen last time, right? That shallow cross. Instead, this time, all it is just a one-man route, just a slot receiver running to the flat. A little quick out route here. Depending on the leverage of this defender, or really any defender that's lined up across from him, if it's man-to-man coverage, it's a tight throw, he's not going to throw this pass. He's going to instead keep the ball and run downhill. Instead, what you see here is that he's actually going to read this leverage. He sees that these guys are not going to be a factor on this throw, and he ends up throwing it to the flat. They end up picking up 6 yards on 2nd and 8. So good read there from Jalen Hurts. He puts the ball on the receiver, and they get a 3rd and short. And one of the things you love to do on 3rd and short, especially if you have an athletic quarterback, and especially against an aggressive defense like this Baylor group. Again, this group, very versatile, very multiple, very aggressive. They're going to try and get after the quarterback. You love to be able to move the pocket. So get the quarterback and get him outside. And that's exactly what Oklahoma is going to do here. They're going to get Jalen Hurts on a little sprint out play, and we'll let this play for a little bit. They're going to get him out of the pocket, just get him on the move, cut the defense in half, and really just kind of give him a simple read, a high-low read of the defender on that side. You've got a flat route here, and you've got a corner from the inside receiver. So if the corner is playing this really tight, hopefully you've got the corner route over the top. But since you've got plenty of separation here underneath, it's a 3rd and short play. It's 3rd and 2. Jalen Hurts smartly takes what the defense gives him. They pick up 3 yards, and they move the chains. Good play design from Lincoln Riley. Good execution from Jalen Hurts. Now we fast forward a few plays later. It's 3rd and long. And remember that first big 3rd down conversion from a few minutes ago? You had that switch release at the bottom of the screen with the deep curl route, the anticipation throw from Jalen Hurts. Well, they're going to go back to that well here on this 3rd down conversion. And again, it's 3rd and 11 here. But what are you going to see? You're going to see the deep curl route from the number 1 receiver, and you're going to see the switch release, that vertical route from number 2. This time, though, the man coverage defender here, that safety right over the slot receiver, ends up making this play. And I want you to see exactly why. Jalen Hurts takes the snap. He drops back. I want you to watch the eyes of the receiver. Here he's about to do it right here. This is the receiver that he wants to target. He's going to try and go for that slot vertical route here, going to the outside. See right here, he peeks back to the quarterback, and I can kind of bring you up a little bit closer. He gets his eyes, but you can see his face mask, gets his eyes back to the quarterback. That's a tell for this defensive back. He now knows, you know what, this ball's coming. Jalen Hurts is getting ready to throw this football, but the DB does a great job of reading the receiver, getting his eyes back to the quarterback, and making a play on it for the interception. The receiver doesn't run a great route and ends up being picked off. That DB is actually Jalen Arnold, who the Eagles actually signed after the draft as an undrafted free agent. So you've got eagle-on-eagle crime here with Jalen Arnold making the play. But there's one big thing that I want you to be able to see, and we'll take a look at it from the end zone angle. I want you to watch Jalen Hurts here. I'm not even going to highlight him. Watch Jalen Hurts here on this play. Again, he's going to drop back. He's going to face that stunt from Baylor. He throws the pick. Watch what Jalen Hurts does in pursuit. After he throws that interception, you're going to see it. Again, this kind of speaks to his toughness and his attitude as a player. He actually defeats that block, prevents this from being a pick six. Love seeing that from Jalen Hurts. The mistake was still made, though, and Oklahoma actually jumps now into a 28-3 hole. Baylor scores another touchdown, 28-3 late in the second quarter. This game that was supposed to be the game of the week is turning into an early rout. So Oklahoma gets the ball back late in the first half. They're going to try and see if they can move down the field and score. It's 2nd and 10 here, and we're going to go back to that pass run option that we saw earlier in the game, all right? So you're going to have this receiver run the shallow cross, which is, again, basically a screen to that side of the field, and you've got the ability now for Jalen Hurts to keep this ball on a quarterback draw as well. So if he doesn't like what he sees here, then he takes off. If that throw's open, he's going to make this throw. What I love, too, I actually meant to say this earlier. If you remember back, and if you're an Eagles fan, you'll remember this, 2013, the first game Andy Reid came back to the Link, his first season coaching in Kansas City. Donnie Avery had like 3 or 4 third and long conversions for the Chiefs in that game. They ran this exact play, not the pass run option element of it, but where he's running from one side of the field and it ended up really being a screen on the opposite side. Donnie Avery caught like 3 or 4 passes on 3rd down in that game off this exact concept. So I thought that was kind of funny thinking back to that. But ultimately, when you're looking at Jalen Hurts here on this play, he's going to drop back. And again, he's just going to read the defense. Are they playing man? Are they playing zone? You see eyes on the quarterback, eyes on the quarterback. This guy's playing in man-to-man coverage as a boundary player, but he sees that he's got zone defenders here at the top of the screen. He's got a clean pocket to start, so he's got good vision on what these guys are doing on this side. He's going to end up just taking off here. So what I love about this is that a lot of people will talk about Jalen Hurts and say, you know what, he's a one read and run kind of guy. He's just going to drop back. If the first receiver's not there, he's going to take off and run. And sure, there are plenty of times where he's got multiple progressions and maybe he runs out of the pocket a little bit too quickly. But you have to keep in mind that in this Oklahoma offense, they did things to really cater to that, right? They did things to kind of foster that and kind of help him grow. So yeah, he's making one read off that shallow screen, and then he's taking off and running. So they're not asking him to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 progressions on every single play. There are examples of that, and we're going to see that a little bit later in this game. But when you talk about, he's a one read and go guy, there are plenty of times where that's just part of the scheme. That's what he was asked to do sometimes in this Oklahoma offense. So Jalen Hurts ends up picking up 14 yards here on 2nd and long, moving the chains, and this ends up being a big drive here for Oklahoma as they get ready to head into the locker room. Now, I mentioned earlier that it was something that wasn't going to be long before we saw some of those full field progressions where he's working from one side of the field, getting through multiple reads all the way over to the other side. 2 plays later, that's exactly what we see. It's 2nd and 7 here, and this is going to be a play-action throw from Oklahoma and Jalen Hurts. He's going to take the snap. Looks like it could be, is it zone read? Is it a handoff? What is it? To me, this looks like it's play action. And really what he's going to try and work off of, he's got the slant route here. I believe that's his number 1 read. The problem is he's got 2 defenders over 1 here. So I think that kind of scares him off. Even though that linebacker creeps up a little bit towards the run play, I think that ultimately you've got 2 defenders over 1. Then you've got these 2 receivers working vertically at the top of the screen. I believe that's his 2nd and 3rd read here in the progression. But again, he doesn't like what he sees here. So ultimately what he does is he gets back to his 4th read in the progression, which is this receiver running the little hitch at the top of the screen. We'll just watch him kind of go from right to left here. Doesn't like the slant, checks the verticals, doesn't like what he sees, ends up getting all the way back to the far side of the field on 2nd and 7. Does it fast enough, by the way, that the receiver's able to create a little bit of yards after catch, and he ends up picking up 10 yards, moving the chains. You love being able to see that, and we'll play it through fast motion. Yeah, there are some plays where it's going to be 1 read and run, but you see him here again, go through the progressions, get the ball where he needs to go, and move the chains. And a few plays later on 3rd and 5, we're going to see something very similar, okay? On this one, I think all he's doing here on this play, Jalen Hurts, is reading if this is going to be a 1 high or 2 high look from the Baylor defense. He gets an idea pre-snap that it's going to be 1 high safety in the middle of the field. So he's got one side of the field where he's going to, essentially it's just a slot fade concept where you're going to get the number 2 receiver. Remember, this is the first touchdown pass Carson Wentz ever threw in his career to Jordan Matthews, was on this similar kind of concept where a slot fade is running to the top of the screen. And then you've just got a 2-man route concept over here to work if it's a 2 high look. So all he has to do pre-snap, is it 1 high or 2 high? Take the snap, confirm that your pre-snap read was correct, and then get the ball where he needs to go. I love this throw from Jalen Hurts. It ends up falling incomplete, but you watch the fans in the stands, you get a sense of whether or not they thought this ball should have been caught. What I love about the slot fade is that you get a lot of room for the receiver outside the numbers. So here's the receiver. He's got all this room outside the numbers, not just for the receiver to be able to run, but for Jalen Hurts to be able to drop this ball in. And he actually puts this right at the pylon, which you really can't ask for a better throw from Jalen Hurts in this situation. The slot receiver runs right by his man. He gets over the top. Jalen Hurts leads him. It looks like he puts this ball right in the bucket here, but he's just unable to make this play, and we'll see it from the end zone angle. Again, just judged by the look of the fans in the stands. You see the reaction from the fans in the red jerseys. This ball, they think, should have been caught, but no problem. They're going to keep moving the football. They actually convert on 4th down with the help of a penalty from the Baylor defense. They move the ball into the red zone, and they get inside the 10-yard line. And we can see here that Jalen Hurts lined up in the shotgun. We're going to see a couple of designed quarterback runs from this Oklahoma offense on 1st and 2nd down inside the 10-yard line. So first up, he's going to take the snap, and he's going to fake the screen to the left. All right, he's going to pump fake, and then he's going to take off on a quarterback draw. He ends up picking up 4 yards to get inside close to the 5-yard line. And again, just notice the physicality. He puts his head down, lowers his head into the defender, lowers his shoulder rather into the defender. You love to be able to see that. Next play, again, 2nd down, 2nd and 6 here, 2nd and goal from the 6. This time, it's going to be quarterback power. So you're going to get a double team from the guard and the tackle. You're going to get this guard pulling up, ideally to block the most dangerous defender. But the problem is that pulling guard actually misses his block here. So Jalen Hurts, after he delays, he's not able to make this first man miss because the guard unfortunately misses this linebacker, and Hurts takes a hit right at the line of scrimmage. So again, I love the finish from the run, but again, not just the hits, the sacks that he takes, the hits as he's taking, as he's throwing the football. Him as a runner, you get a sense of his toughness, his competitiveness, and what he's able to do from a durability standpoint. Really, really impressive. So that brings up 3rd down. It's 3rd and 5. This is a concept that's very, very prevalent in all West Coast offenses. And ultimately what it's called spacing. You're going to have 2 receivers running basically little hitch routes here, and then you're going to get a route from the backfield to the flat. So it's a 3-man route concept designed to attack ideally man or zone coverage, but it can work against man as well. It's really a horizontal stretch play. So what we're going to see here from this Oklahoma offense is that they're going to send their tight end all right, who's lined up with his hand in the dirt right here on what's called a corner stop route. That's what they want on this play. And this is actually a route very, very common in the Eagles offense. Zach Ertz runs this route very often, especially in this area of the field. So it's going to be a little corner stop route. And he's actually, even though he gets bracketed here, even though he gets doubled, Jalen Hurts still has confidence in him and confidence in himself to be able to make this throw with the route. Good timing, good anticipation, gets this ball on the front shoulder for a touchdown. Really well done here from Jalen Hurts, and Oklahoma is able to get on the board. Again, it's 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. 2 plays where he's had to lower his shoulder into the defender, and now he finishes it off with a touchdown pass. Love seeing that by Jalen Hurts. Now, that makes the score 31-10. They go into the locker room. Big story is Baylor is blowing out Oklahoma. It's halftime in Waco. Big win for the Bears. Huge win for Matt Rule. I'm going to be honest. I dozed off at halftime. I thought that this game was in the bag for Baylor. I thought it was going to be a huge win for that coaching staff. But Oklahoma, they were not going out without a fight. Oklahoma gets the ball to start the 3rd quarter. A few plays into the drive, and you can see they're starting to really get onto a roll. That same pass run option play that we've seen a couple of times. Again, you're going to get the shallow cross. You get some blockers out in front. He's got the ability, if the crosser's not there, to take off with a quarterback draw, and that's exactly what happens here as Jalen Hurts is going to drop back. He's going to take the snap, eyes up the defense, sees all the green grass in front of him, and ends up taking off for 12 yards and a 1st down. Next play, let's go into the other pass run option, but we're going to go back to that other scenario we saw where basically it's going to be the slot receiver running a little bit of an out route. He's going to read the leverage of this defender across from that receiver, and he's going to say, okay, if this guy plays him tight, I'm going to keep the football and I'm going to run. If he's playing soft, I'm going to throw this to the flat. And that's exactly what we're going to see here. He reads the leverage of the defender after he drops back, takes the snap, puts this throw on the money. Good timing. That allows for yards after catch. 1st down. Another 12-yard pickup for Oklahoma, and they're starting to heat up a little bit. You can start to get a sense, you know what? They're starting to get into a little bit of a flow, a little bit of a rhythm, move the chains once again. And on the very next play, this is one of my favorite throws from Jalen Hurts in this game. It's 1st and 10 once again. This time, it's not going to be a pass run option. This to me looks like it's just basic play action where they're going to pull the guard, they're going to fake the handoff here to the back, and Jalen Hurts is going to have the ability to hit some crossing routes in the middle of the field. But here's what I love. Is that he's going to face pressure from a number of different spots here, and he's going to have the ability to still make this throw. The running back's going to step up in production off the play action fake, but he's still going to get pushed up right into the lap of Jalen Hurts and actually contacts his throwing arm. So he's going to take a shot here on his throwing side, fights through the contact, keeps his eyes downfield, still faces more pressure because number 9, he's about to collapse the pocket, so he's going to face a little bit more pressure here. Still is able to step up, makes the throw from an awkward angle on the money to number 84 for a 12-yard pickup and a 1st down. Again, we're just going to play this back one more time. This is one of my favorite throws of the game from Jalen Hurts. And again, he's taken a number of hits already in the pocket and outside the pocket, and as a runner, he's going to fight off contact, keep his eyes downfield, and make this throw under duress for a 1st down. That is big time from Jalen Hurts. Now, fast forward a few plays, they're actually able to convert on a 3rd and 13 play, a shallow cross, looked like a busted coverage from Baylor, but they get the ball into the low red zone. It's 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. We've seen Jalen Hurts carry the football a number of times on this drive. Once again, takes more hits on his body in this game from that Baylor defense, but here's what I love. This is great play design from Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma. You're going to get this receiver at the bottom of the screen, and he's going to run jet motion to this side, but it's not just eye candy because he's actually going to end up going to the flat, and that's going to be a read for Jalen Hurts. The other receiver that he's going to have here is this tight end running a corner route. So it's basically a simple 2-man route concept. You're going to have somebody else coming from the backside as a check down almost. But what I love here is the action from Jalen Hurts in the backfield on this play, is because what you're going to see is after the jet sweep action, all right, he's going to take the snap and initially step up as if it's going to be one of those inside runs. How often have we already seen Jalen Hurts in this game? And I've skipped a handful of them as well, where he's going to go, it could be quarterback draw, it could be quarterback lead, quarterback power. We're going to see quarterback counter in this game. So a wide variety of runs from the quarterback position in Jalen Hurts. They're going to fake the run this time, and they're going to instead have him put his foot in the ground and get outside. They're going to move the pocket on 3rd down. And again, he's just going to have a couple of options here on this play. He ends up hitting this tight end for a touchdown outside the pocket, 3rd down, a money down, big moment in the game coming down. They're down by a handful of scores. Well, now he brings him in within 2 on this throw ends up being a touchdown, brings him within 14, down to the goal line again in a big-time situation. Love the play call, good execution on the run, falling away from the throw for a touchdown. Now, from one drive to the next, this was a crazy game. Oklahoma actually gets the ball back because Baylor fumbles right by midfield. Oklahoma gets the ball. They've got the chance to go down and make this a one-score game. They get back down into the red zone, and Jalen Hurts makes some plays both with his arm and with his legs on this drive. But they get down. It's 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Again, you see Jalen Hurts in the shotgun here. But what's going to happen? He's going to take the snap. He's going to drop back, read the defense. But this is actually just a quarterback draw. He's going to take off, and you can see here he's got a little bit of an alley. But the problem is the defense, they're going to collapse on him a little bit. And as he tries to run through that arm tackle, you can see he's using his off arm to fight through contact. That allows just one arm on the football. This defender, James Lynch, is going to come in. He's going to punch this ball out, and that results in a turnover for Oklahoma. The ball comes out. They recover the ball in their own end zone. It's a touchback, and that's a big mistake for Jalen Hurts. The ability to pull this game within one score, tough moment on the goal line. So how is he going to respond? Oklahoma forces Baylor to punt. So they get the ball back. Again, down 2 scores, down 14 points. What are they going to do? They're back up in their own end. First 3rd down of this drive. Let's see what Jalen Hurts does. This is going to be a route concept, and really a route that we see a lot from the Eagles offense. We're going to get the number 3 receiver. Typically, you'll see a lot from this from Zach Ertz, where he's going to fake like he's working inside, and he's actually going to work back towards the sideline. These guys here are basically just trying to lift the coverage, and I love what Jalen Hurts does on this play. As he's going to drop back, and again, he's going to face some pressure. Another cross dog blitz. You're going to get this blitzer running clean at Jalen Hurts. He makes a really impressive anticipation throw under pressure. Really, really well done from Hurts here as he's able to hit this receiver on the money, create yards after catch. So it's 3rd and 4. They pick up 15 yards. Really, really well done from Jalen Hurts on this play. And I'll let you see it from the end zone angle. You love seeing how guys bounce back from adversity. It's 3rd down after that fumble on the goal line. He makes a big throw to move the chains. Now, on the very next play, we're going to see him create with his legs a little bit here. Really, what you're going to see here is he ultimately wants to hit this receiver working down the middle of the field. But with this defender here in the middle between the hashes, that throw is taken away. So Jalen Hurts is going to drop back. He's going to take the snap off play action. Doesn't like what he sees, tries to buy himself some time, but then he's able to create. So it's a 5-yard pickup on 1st down. That's a win for the offense every single time. Every coach is going to say, yeah, we'll take 5 yards on offense any single time. Anytime you have an athletic quarterback like this, you've got the potential. It's not just about those 15 and 20-yard runs. It's also about the ability to pick up 5 yards on 1st down. And I love the physical finish here from Jalen Hurts. Okay, so on the very next play, we saw just now, right, that we saw him create with his legs. I just love seeing this kind of mental plays from Jalen Hurts as well. And really what you're going to see here pre-snap is something's not adding up because you've got 3 receivers from Oklahoma, and then you've got 4 defenders from Baylor. And what you're going to notice is that this defender here, he's going to start to creep up just a little bit before the snap. And I want you to watch Jalen Hurts here on this play because what he's going to do is he's going to realize that that's happening. Look at Jalen Hurts. Watch him pointing. He's pointing to this defender here, and that's him letting this running back know, hey, I need you to step up in protection here and be able to make this play. This is an incompletion. This is 0 yards on this pickup. This isn't going to show up on any highlight reel, but you just love Jalen Hurts kind of having that mental awareness pre-snap to be able to point things out from a protection standpoint. Again, that's an incomplete pass. That's not going to show up on any highlight reel, but you just love him having that wherewithal to be able to recognize the defense. Again, you see him point there, having an understanding of how the defense is going to attack you and beat it pre-snap. Now, he does the same thing here on this very next play, except this time he does it with his arm. And what we're going to see here is man-to-man coverage from this Baylor defense, all right? So you're going to see man-to-man across the board. A lot of moving parts here with guys pretending whether or not they're going or if they're coming, if they're dropping into coverage. So a lot of moving parts in the front 7. It's 3rd and 5, and he feels like, you know what, I got to be able to beat the blitz here. And one of the best ways to defeat man coverage is with shallow crossing routes, and that's exactly what they've got here from the slot receiver. They're going to try and see if they can get him matched one-on-one in man coverage and just try and take advantage of the matchup in space. Watch Jalen Hurts here. Again, facing pressure. You've got a 3-man stunt on the inside. This stunt has gotten home a number of times to Jalen Hurts. They're also bringing guys from the second level as well, and that's exactly who gets home and delivers a hit here on Jalen. But He gets the ball out quickly. And again, yards after catch is often talked about as a wide receiver stat, but it's just as much on the quarterback, not just with timing, but with ball placement, with accuracy. If the ball gets out on time and on the money, that allows the receiver to turn into a runner and try and make that first man miss and pick up extra yards. This ball should have been stopped. That should have been a tackle short of the sticks, but since the ball came out on time and on target, now that receiver was able to turn upfield, make that first man miss, and they pick up now 12 yards on 3rd and 5, move the sticks and get close to midfield. You love seeing this from Jalen Hurts. That's a big time throw. Again, you see the big hit. Just stack that up on the list of big hits that Jalen Hurts has had to take in this game. Now, we're going to fast forward a little bit in the drive. Again, a 2-score game. It's now the 4th quarter. It's 4th and 1, high red zone. This is a huge moment of the game. High leverage moment here for both teams. And what you're going to see here from Oklahoma is going to be zone read. It's going to be a lot of the stuff that we've already seen from this offense, where he's going to take the snap. He's going to read one defender, right? It appears that he's reading this defensive end. The defensive end's going to crash inside. This is an 8-man box for Baylor. So they've got an extra man that he's going to have to miss. That extra man is Jalen Hurts' guy. He has got to make this first defender miss. If he doesn't make him miss, the play's dead. They're giving the ball back to Baylor, who might be able to put the finishing touches on this game. They've got to convert. He has got to make this first man miss. So he keeps the ball, he plays off his block, he sticks his head down, and he pushes forward here for a 2-yard pickup on 4th and 1. Big play from Jalen Hurts. And on the very next snap, again, after taking another hit in the run game and having a bunch of guys end up on top of him in the pile, he makes a huge throw here on 1st down. Again, it looks like it's going to be pressure from this Baylor defense, and this defender's going to come off the edge. Jalen Hurts has got to get rid of this ball, and he's got to get rid of it quick. So he understands what he's got at the top of the screen. This is going to be just a quick out route. He's got to be able to win this one-on-one matchup. This isn't CeeDee Lamb. This is going to be the backup receiver. This is not his number one threat, the All-American on the outside. He's got to trust his man to win at the top of this route because he knows the ball has to come out quickly. It's got to come out now. Look at him beat the pressure, get the ball out quickly to the out route, and that allows yards after catch. It's what we just talked about a minute ago, right? He gets the ball out on time and accurately on the money, puts it right on the numbers for the receiver. He's able to throttle down, make one man miss, make a second man miss, and plunge into the end zone for a touchdown. Makes this a 1-score game. Huge play for Oklahoma. Great job by Jalen Hurts getting this ball out quickly to the receiver on the outside. Again, he does the rest of the work, but great job on this drive from Jalen Hurts. So Oklahoma's defense, they're able to force a punt. It's a 1-score game. It's 31-24. Oklahoma gets the ball back. It's middle of the 4th quarter. How are they going to respond? Are they able to make another big play here for this offense? So it's 2nd and 8. It's a couple plays into the drive. I just want you to see, again, just showing off the toughness of Jalen Hurts. He's going to go off this play action fake. James Lynch, who's an All-American defensive end for Baylor. You see him here, number 9. He's about to impact Jalen Hurts in the pocket. It's play action. A sack here would be disastrous. He wrestles out of that sack. That's a 275-pound defensive end. He gets out of it and is able to just kind of shovel pass here. Smart play, incomplete pass. Great job to stay alive, and that brings up 3rd and 8. And what are you going to get from Baylor this time? We've seen some pressure looks in the past, but here they're actually just going to drop back. They're going to instead play coverage here. They're going to play what's called Tampa 2. So you've got 2 safeties deep. You've got that deep middle defender. You've actually got 6 defenders underneath. So you've got these 5. Here's your 6th. 2 safeties split in the middle of the field. Just a 3-man rush. So really, it's a very safe coverage play here from Oklahoma. And you've got Jalen Hurts, who understands, you know what? It's 3rd and 8. I can either try and create with my legs or I need to get the ball out quickly and just let my guy go out and make a play. And that's exactly what he does here. Is he's going to drop back, hit the top of the rush, just hit the check down, hit the running back underneath, trust my man to go make a play. They pick up 11 yards. They move the sticks there on 3rd and long. Great job from Jalen Hurts, just recognizing what the defense was giving him or not giving him and getting the ball out quickly. They move the chains, keep the drive alive. And again, all these small plays, these little decisions by Jalen Hurts, him wrestling out of contact in the backfield, him understanding, you know what, I'm going to throw this ball away or I'm going to settle for an incomplete pass instead of forcing the issue. All these things mount up and they allow Oklahoma to drive down the field. Remember, no CeeDee Lamb. They're able to mount this comeback with a lot of small plays, small chunks, 8 yards, 12 yards, 15 yards, matriculate the ball down the field. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just chucking it deep to CeeDee Lamb or Marquise Brown or any of these guys over the top. He did a great job of managing this offense and putting them in position to mount this comeback and come back. And this is exactly how they tie the football game. Something similar that we saw earlier, right, where you're going to see the jet sweep action. He's going to come off that jet play. He's going to sprint out to the right, and ultimately you're going to have a corner out from the tight end, a running back out in the flat. He's going to hit this tight end on the touchdown, and this is going to end up tying the football game. Jalen Hurts, again, you've got the jet sweep here coming from right to left. He rolls out of the pocket on the sprint out, and he ends up hitting the tight end for a touchdown. So, again, all of those little things come back to help Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts able to lead them down the field. Great job from Hurts here, finishing the drive for a touchdown. So, they get the ball back once again. Oklahoma forces another punt. It's tied up, 31-31. Just over 4 minutes left in this game. If they want to go win it, now is the time. So, first play of the possession, they're going to go back to that pass-run option play we've seen a few times, right? You're going to get the shallow cross, blockers on the outside, and you've got the option here for a quarterback draw from Jalen Hurts. So he's going to take the snap. He's going to drop back. And really what you don't want to happen on the first play of a drive, especially one this important, Jalen Hurts ends up getting sacked here. The offensive line's unable to hold up. We're going to take a look at it here from the end zone angle. You're going to see that the pressure is able to get home. You've got a lot of moving pieces there. Pressure gets home, and he takes a sack on first down. Very next play, they're going to go with a zone read play. This time, all Jalen Hurts is going to do, he's just going to hand this ball off. And it's great when you've got the ability to beat defenses with your legs. They've got to respect it. Well, now the running back is able to get a big chunk of yardage here. 32 yards on second and long. The run game gets them in position to move this ball and win this game. They get right around midfield. Very next play, it's 1st and 10. You're going to see the ability here. Once again, they're going to go pass run option. You've got the out route with the quarterback draw on the back side of it. And all he's going to do, he's going to drop back. He's going to read the defense. He doesn't like what he sees. There's probably a little bit too much relationship here. You've got a zone corner here on the outside that could potentially try and make this play on first down. So he's going to end up keeping this ball and running on the quarterback draw. Again, this is built in to the Oklahoma offense. He makes one man miss, ends up tucking this ball and gets outside the pocket, slides down for 11 yards on first down. Big pickup there. And at this point, Baylor's defense is reeling. You're going to see here again, he makes that blitzer miss. Let's not forget that part of it. You've got a blitzer coming right through the B gap here. He makes that man miss, makes another man miss, gets outside the pocket, and is able to move the chains for a first down. A couple plays later, they move the ball just a little bit further. They're at the 21-yard line. They're knocking on the door. They're right on the outside of the red zone. High red zone play here. What do you get from Oklahoma in this offense? The nearly unthinkable. Creed Humphrey, the All-American center, puts this ball on the ground. The ball is snapped, and now look at where Jalen Hurts is. He's back at the 40. Baylor's got to be loving this right now. But what does Jalen Hurts do? He doesn't panic. He picks this ball up. He rolls over to his right, and he finds a way to be able to get rid of this ball as an incomplete pass. It's not intentional grounding. Does an outstanding job, and you love the poise there from Jalen Hurts. Again, with everything that's going on, he's able to stay on top of this. He doesn't just jump on the ball and take the sack. He doesn't throw this away with a penalty. Incomplete pass, live to play the next play. Huge play. I cannot state enough how important that was for Oklahoma to try and seal this victory, because a couple of plays later, they throw this little simple screen pass. They're just trying to get the ball lined up into the middle of the field, just get things nice and easy for their kicker. They get down to the right hash inside the 15-yard line. Oklahoma kicks the field goal to win this game. Huge win for Oklahoma. And the very next play that we're going to see is them in the victory formation. And that's exactly what you want there if you're an Oklahoma fan. Huge game for Jalen Hurts. Again, it wasn't his best performance. We saw the interception. We saw a couple of fumbles. One of them on the goal line, right, where he gives the ball back. But what did we see also? We saw anticipation. We saw poise. We saw accuracy. We saw a heads-up play, both pre-snap and post-snap. We saw the ability to avoid pressure, make plays with his legs, the athleticism, the toughness, the physicality, the competitiveness. All of that showed up with Jalen Hurts in this game. It's the reason why so many people talked about that throughout the course of his pre-draft evaluation. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed sitting in my film room with me, watching Jalen Hurts. Stay tuned as we're going to continue breaking down the rest of this rookie class right here on the Film Room, presented by Chickies and Pete's.